This video is sponsored by ExpressVPN. In the digital era we live in, our privacy is always at risk. ExpressVPN is here to mitigate that risk. When you send information through an unencrypted connection, your data can be monitored and collected by your ISP, the government, or really anyone with basic computer knowledge. And this data is constantly being used against us. ExpressVPN will encrypt your internet connection using the highest standards of encryption currently available, keeping your data secure and hiding your IP address so no governing entity will be able to monitor what you're doing. I've used ExpressVPN in the past when I needed to access a video blocked in the US so I could reroute my connection through to a server in a different country. You can get 3 months of ExpressVPN for free if you use my link in the description, expressvpn.com/scaretheater. Take back your privacy today with ExpressVPN. One theme many conspiracy theories share with one another is the idea of a nation's government turning against its citizens through the use of technology. This concept isn't unique to conspiracy theories, however. There's plenty of literature throughout history warning of such an occurrence, such as Orwell's 1984. All in all, it's not like this type of thing doesn't already happen. This theory takes that notion to a much different level. This video has been popping up, warning that a conspiracy from back in the 90s called Project Bluebeam has finally reached its year of fruition. As just a brief overview, the Project Bluebeam conspiracy states that NASA is planning on projecting a large image into the skies at different locations around the globe. The goal is to deceive the planet into believing in a new global religion. Some people seem to be pointing to other instances of unexplained sky anomalies as evidence that this type of technology has already been tested. We'll go more in depth with these a bit later. This theory began in 1994 when an established Canadian journalist named Sergei Monast started focusing his work on something different from his usual publications. His claim was that NASA was going to attempt to implement a New Age religion with the Antichrist at its head by creating a worldwide simulation of the Second Coming. The following 2 years after Monast lectured on this topic, he became very paranoid, claiming he was being hunted by the authorities. His children, whom he homeschooled, were taken away from him in 1996 so they could receive public education. Shortly afterward, he was arrested and spent a night in prison, and the following day, he died from a heart attack. This, in combination with rumors of another unnamed journalist working on this dying from a heart attack that same year, makes proponents of this theory believe they were assassinated by the government to keep this all under wraps. In which case, that would have been pretty useless because we're talking about it right now. Project Bluebeam was said to have 4 steps. Step 1 was the breakdown of all archaeological knowledge to set the stage. This stage involves staging earthquakes at various locations around the world, and at all their locations, planting evidence that would prove all other major religions wrong. According to Monast, this falsification already began with the films Space Odyssey, Star Trek, Star Wars, and E.T. to push the ideas of space invasions. He even said the film Jurassic Park was created as a way to push the theory of evolution. Step 2 is the most widely talked about part of the theory. In this stage, holographic lasers will be used to beam projections in the sky all over the world of whatever god is most predominant in that area. The god will announce themselves, speaking every language, and then at the end of their performance, every god will come together as one. Step 3 is to use low-frequency rays from satellites that will be used to telepathically communicate with everyone, making them believe that this god is talking to them from their own souls. I'm sure you're all seeing how ridiculous this is right now, and it only gets worse. Step 4, the final stage, is to make all of mankind believe that an alien invasion is about to take place in every major city. The purpose of this is to make every nation strike back with nuclear weapons, eventually creating complete chaos. In addition to this, they will try to convince the Christians that the rapture is about to happen. In the midst of all this anarchy, people will be desperate to accept the New World Order to restore peace to the world. Many proponents of Project Bluebeam like to reference unexplained sky anomalies as tests of this technology already being implemented. The most popular example of this is the 2009 Norwegian spiral anomaly. On the morning of December 9, 2009 in Norway, many of the residents witnessed a strange spectacle. A blue beam appeared to shoot up into the morning sky, and at its peak turned into a giant, miles-wide spiral. The spiral was able to be witnessed all throughout northern Norway and Sweden, and there were many videos of it from awestruck people that day. The event lasted about 10 minutes, and then the spiral appeared to be swallowed from inside out by darkness. Immediately, this started getting media attention and speculation from everyone.
Yesterday morning, just before dawn, this appeared in the Norwegian sky. A blue light, small at first, growing into a spiral, and then disappearing into what appeared to be a black hole.
Of course, there were the tinfoilers that cried aliens were responsible for this, while others thought they had witnessed a black hole. Meteorologists looked into this and concluded that no natural phenomenon could have caused a shape as precise as this. They suspected it may have been a Russian missile test. This would make sense, as there are other videos of failed missile tests that do create very similar spiral patterns. Russia initially denied this, but the following day issued a statement saying they did test a missile that failed that day, making this the likely explanation. Similar things have happened numerous times in China, Russia, and Australia. Some people just want to make some things more exciting than they really are. Project Bluebeam warns us of an oppressive government using advanced technology to deceive the masses. While this scenario depicted in this theory may be unrealistic, the main premise is very real. There are all kinds of ways to easily be manipulated through technology right now. Dr. George Papkun is a scientist who studies voice morphing technology, and this demonstration perfectly shows how easy it is to deceive. He took this voice sample from this woman.
I think everyone wants to be optimistic when you hear of a tragedy. You want to think that...
And turned it into this.
Look, I made her say this.
I think everyone wants to disappear and vanish.
Oh my god.
This, in combination with deepfake technology, where you can easily pretend to be literally anyone you want to, could easily be abused.
President Trump is a total and complete dipshit. Stay woke.
Even the technology described in Project Bluebeam isn't that far off from where we're at right now. In 1990, after Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait, the US needed to take him down. A senior Air Force officer suggested projecting a holographic image of Allah floating over Baghdad to encourage people of Iraq to rise against Hussein. A military physicist was tasked with looking into how realistic this was. They found that this was something that could actually plausibly be done, however, they never pursued it because the costs were too high. All in all, this idea of global deception through a hologram is a completely ridiculous idea, but mass-spread deception is much more common and simple than you may think. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the flip side.